Shalom, shalom, Israel. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I wanted to cover some of Daniel 20 and Daniel chapter 9, specifically verses 25, 26, and 27. Okay, a lot of people say that's a prophecy of the New Testament. I don't know, the Messiah, whatever name they give to him, Jesus, Yehoshua, Yahushai, whatever, they say it's a prophecy of him. So I wanted to take a look at a few things and to see exactly if that is a prophecy of him. So first thing I wanted to show you guys in the newer Bibles, the grammar has been switched. And what do I mean by that? This is the E sword right here, and as you can see, Daniel 9:25, right here, this comma right here, right? So there's a comma right here, and it should be a semicolon, not a comma. You have it again here on your King James, right here, comma, and not a semicolon. Now this is the King James 1611 Bible. Right here you have a semicolon. Okay. So what is the purpose? Why am I showing you this? What does it matter? Simple mistake, huh? Well, not so much, because a semicolon is a punctuation mark indicating a pause, typically between two main clauses, that is more pronounced than that indicated by a comma. So it means much more than just the comma, right? So what is a main clause? For those who have forgotten English grammar or forgotten, just for whatever reason, don't know what a main clause is. A main clause is a form of complete sentence standing alone, having a subject and a predicate. All right, so when you go back here and you read it, it says, "Know therefore and understand, comma, that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and rebuild Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince." Now, there is dispute in the Hebrew that the word "they," the, is not there. That it just says unto Messiah, which is anointed, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks, semicolon, which really should be a period. And 62 shall the street be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. So that's two complete different sentences right there. So it was going to be 70 weeks until the Messiah the Prince, right? And the Prince is, if you go up here, you click on Prince, what does it say? It says Nagid, Prince, Nagid, a commander, civil, military, religious, or generally chief ruler, right? So who was the Messiah, that Prince? It was King Cyrus, okay? So that's the first part of the prophecy and vision that Daniel had seen, okay? So now when you go into and you see that the 62 the street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. So when you go into Ezra, okay, and you see what was going on with Ezra when they were building the temple, Ezra and Nehemiah, how the people across the land was going to stop them, etc. And it even goes into tell you here when you click on search for Nehemiah, it tells you, that they rebuilt the temple in troublous times. It says that once there, Nehemiah defied the opposition of Judah's enemies on all sides, the Samaritan, Ammonites, Arabs, and Philistines, and rebuilt the walls within 52 days. From the Sheep Gate in the north to the Hanel Tower at the northwest corner, the Fish Gate in the west, the Furnaces Tower, etc. Right? And when you go into Ezra, you understand that Ezra reconsecrated the temple. Okay? And it says right here, it says the canonical book of Ezra and the book of Nehemiah are the oldest sources for the activity of Ezra, whereas many of the other books ascribed to Ezra were later literary works dependent on the canonical books of Ezra and Nehemiah, right? And when you go up here, it says right here, it says that Ezra was also was instrumental in restoring the Jewish scriptures and religion to the people after the return from the Babylonian captivity, and is highly respected figure in the faith, pretty much, right? It says he was a Jewish scribe and priest in the Second Temple, and he was let's see here. It says he has some descendants from what did I read that correctly? Not exactly. Okay, but when you go into the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, it talks about Joshua, son of Jehozadak, and in a vision, right? And he was the actual high priest during the time of Ezra and the time of Joshua. You look at the time that he lived, 515 to 490. You look at the time Ezra lived, 480 to 440. You look at the time Nehemiah lived, 440. We look at the time around Nehemiah lived around his life. He was around that time because, as you can see, in the 20th year Artaxerxes, 445, around the same time of Ezra. So Ezra had a vision of Zechariah. Of Joshua, son of Jehozadak, Yehoshua, son of Jehozadak, and the vision in the book of Zechariah, chapters 3, verses 6 through 10, where he tells, and let's just go ahead and go to it. We'll go to Zechariah chapter 3, and we'll go to verses 6 through 10. Right? It says, and the angel of the Lord requested unto Joshua, this is the son of Jehozadak, right? This is Joshua, son of Jehozadak, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, if you will walk in my ways, and if you will keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house, and shalt also keep my courts, and I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by. Now hear now, O Joshua the high priest, right? Thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for thou art men wondered at, for behold, I will bring forth my servant the branch. And that branch was either Zerubbabel or Joshua, son of Jehozadak himself. Okay. Now, you go back to Daniel, right? We're going back to Daniel. Where we at? Daniel, right? 9:27. Back 9:25 where we were at. So I have proved to you that the temple was built in perilous times for 32 weeks, right? I've showed to you that there is a comma, there's a semicolon there, not a comma, right? And we go here back to the 1611 where you see the semicolon. And so, though therefore understand that to the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem, King Cyrus, unto the Messiah the Prince, right? Because you had 3 commandments. You had Artaxerxes, you had King Cyrus, and I forget the other one that had commandments to build to rebuild the temple. But it was actually King Cyrus who was the one that was actually his commandment that actually went forth on. All right, you can look that up. You can type it in, Google search that. You will see that it was actually 3 commands that they were given before they actually went and built the temple. All right, so as we have already established, a semicolon right here denotes between 2 sentences, main clauses, aka sentences, right? So now this is a whole completely sentence. Now for 32 weeks, the street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. I just proved to you that Nehemiah and Ezra and Joshua, son of Jehozadak, they did this in the troublous times amongst the Samaritans, amongst the Arabs, amongst the Philistines, and the Ammonites. Okay, you can go into the book of Nehemiah and read that for yourself. All right, so now it goes down to say, in 62 weeks. So, and after 32 weeks, shall anointed. Notice it doesn't say the anointed, it just says anointed. Same thing right here. And after 62 weeks, which is 32 weeks, shall anointed, right? Mashiach, anointed, usually a consecrated person, right? Shall be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince shall come, shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. Okay, so we just seen that Joshua, son of Jehozadak, was anointed, right? He was anointed in the dream of Zechariah, right? The 3rd chapter, verses 6 through 10, and also in Nehemiah, and I think also in Ezra as well. Okay, so now so when he was cut off, he died, whatnot. He did what he was supposed to do, and then you have the the desolations coming, the war. You know what I'm saying? Because this had to be, the temple had to be destroyed before the Messiah comes. That's basically what is being said right here. And it says that after he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblations to cease. So this is when the Greeks came in and the Romans. All right, the Greeks and the Romans came in and caused the sacrifice to cease and the destruction of the temple. All right. Now, if you go, how do we confirm everything that I just said? That Daniel 9:25 and 26 was talking about King Cyrus and Joshua son of Jehozadak, Ezra, and Nehemiah restoring and rebuilding the temple. What more evidence can I possibly provide? Well, you have to go back a chapter in Daniel to chapter 8. Okay? You go to chapter 8, verses 13 and 14. Right? So we'll read it from the KJV here, and we'll go back a chapter to chapter 8, 13 and 14. And as you can see, so Daniel's talking about a vision. And as you can see, this is a separate, verse 13 was a separate paragraph, and verse 15 is a separate paragraph. You see the paragraph indentions right here? Okay, so keep that in mind. We are reading an English book, so English grammar does matter. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto the saint to that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said to me, unto 2,300 days shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Right? So what year was this being said that Daniel saw this vision? This was in the 3rd year of King Belshazzar. Right? So this is in the 3rd year of King Belshazzar, the king of Babylon. The Persians and the Medes have not taken over the land of Babylon yet. Okay, this is still the Babylonian King Belshazzar. Okay, now, so in the 3rd year, at that time, you count 2,300 days from that year. So we look up and see what year did Belshazzar reign? And let's see. He started his reign in 556 BC. So we subtract 3 years, which will make it 553 BC. And that was the year that Daniel saw the vision. Okay, so we will count 2,300 days from that year. And as Daniel says right here, it says again, we'll read it again. It says, and the other angel responded to the other angel, until 2,300 days. Right? Then it has English grammar, right? Then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Okay? So, from the 3rd year in the reign of King Belshazzar, shall the sanctuary be trodden down for 2,300 days, and then it shall be cleansed. Now, if you do the math from the year 553 and you add up 2,300 days, it falls well short of Jesus, and he was born in 6 BC or 6 AD, whichever one that you want to say, falls significantly short of that. So it cannot be talking about him. So, what more proof do you have that it is talking about King Cyrus and Ezra, Nehemiah, and Joshua son of Jehozadak? Well, we're going to go here, and we're going to go to the Chat GPT. So I have trained Chat GPT and asked it certain questions about the calculations and let them do the calculations. So it goes right here. It says right here that the vision is in the 3rd year of Belshazzar's reign. If we consider the 3rd year of Belshazzar's reign to be around 553 BCE, which it is around 553, which it is approximately 553, then the vision of Daniel in 8:14 would occur around that time. I would agree. 2,300 evenings and mornings per what the Bible says in Genesis. For the first day was an evening and a morning. All right. If we interpreted the 2,300 evenings and mornings as days, we will calculate the duration in days, adding 2,300 days to the approximate date of the vision, 550 BCE. Right. So 550 BCE plus 2,300 days would be 440 BCE, but it is really 553. So you have to add 3 years to this. So 443 BCE was when that prophecy was fulfilled, when Ezra consecrated the temple. Okay. Now you have Cyrus' edict. Well, you know, since 2003. Yeah, exactly. Now you have Cyrus' edict to rebuild the temple was issued in 538 BCE. Right. Now keep in mind, he said back up in here in Daniel 9, after 32 weeks, right? So you had 32 weeks, so 32 years later, you do the math. Where is it? Where is it at? Where we at? And after 62 weeks, shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, but the prince. So after 32 years, shall he be cut off, right? So Cyrus had issued that decree in 538 BC. So 32 years afterwards, after they built the temple, they would be gone. So you have the vision of Daniel's vision in 550 BCE of 2,300 days. The 2,300 days from the vision is around 443 BCE. Cyrus's edict to rebuild the temple was 538 BCE. So you have from 538 BC back to 440 BC to when the temple was consecrated, or 443 BC, around that time, which also coincides with who? What? When did Ezra live? 480 to 440. When did Joshua, son of Jehozadak, live? Died in 490, they say. Or he was a high priest from 515 to 490. Nehemiah. What was Nehemiah? He, of course, it says in the 20th year of Artaxerxes, when Nehemiah was cupbearer to the king. So, of course, he lived during the same time period. So, this is proof that Daniel 9 and 25, 26, 27 has been fulfilled, and was a prophecy of the second temple being built, and how long it would take before Israel would return back into the land and rebuild the second temple. Okay, that is all. If you like the videos, I hope you subscribe and like the channel. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. All right. Till the next video. Peace.